September is almost over, and with it comes the quiet urgency to finish what's been left undone. The days are still long enough to work outside, but you can feel time slipping. Soon the weather will turn and the list of jobs waiting will have to pause until spring. Over the past few weeks, I've been chipping away at the big man list. Bit by bit, things have started to change. The garden looks clearer, the greenhouse is ready for winter, and small corners of this place finally feel more like mine. But one of the biggest jobs has been waiting all along, the workshop. And today it's time to give it the attention it deserves before autumn truly sets in. So the workshop has been on the big man list since the very beginning. In fact, it's been a constant reminder ever since I started and never finished many months ago. But it's time to finally tackle it properly. If you watched my last few videos, you'll know I managed to tick off quite a few outdoor jobs, including building this very simple work table, which will now stand its test as I continue the workshop journey. My plan over the next few days is to finish up the insulation and also build some proper storage in here. Because right now everything is just piled into corners and it makes even the simplest of tasks take twice as long. This is really about turning the workshop into a space that works. A place I can actually use as I keep renovating the house. I just know that eventually I will end up a hoarder. I mean, I find so many random things that I've saved for some reason. Like one single candle put on top of something. An inner IKEA pillow. And I don't even know what this is. Last spring, I had hoped to see a ton of tulips, daffodils, yeah, all those spring flowers that comes from these tiny bulbs. But no, it was a very few. And so I decided to get a ton of them this year. So next spring, the garden will be full of stunning tulips, daffodils. So today I'm planting the first 100 bulbs of daffodils. The plan is to plant them outside of the garden towards the road. Apparently wildlife don't really like daffodils, so I'm hoping they will leave them alone. That's what Google says anyway. Yeah, there's 100 here and probably at least 300 bulbs more of different varieties. It's a big job, but someone's got to do it, and that someone is me. There, 150 50 something daffodils put in the ground along the road on both sides of the driveway. I think that will look pretty epic next spring. That's what I'm thinking anyway. This is definitely one of those times where 2 sets of hands would make life a lot easier. Holding up insulation, balancing tools, trying to screw something in place all at once. It's a bit of a circus actually when you're doing it all solo. But I'm actually really pleased with the progress so far. Little by little, the workshop is starting to look less like a storage shed and more like a space I can actually use. Of course, if you saw me whistling a piece of insulation earlier, you know it's not always a graceful process. I think Alva was watching me with that "what on earth are you doing" face. He's certainly not volunteering to help either, unless staring at his ball until I throw it counts. Oh, really? Okay. That's it. The big man list is almost done. All that's left now are the tall hedges and a wooden panel by the sunroom, which I won't bore you with. It's taken 3 weeks of steady hard work to get here. At times it felt like the list would never end, but little by little things began to shift. The carport painted, the ugly hedges moved. I'll replace it in a few weeks. The greenhouse ready for winter. The workshop finally insulated and almost organized. Even the small tasks like moving the rows, clearing the windows, cleaning the windows have made this place feel lighter and more lived in. The September weather has been kind to me this time. Cold mornings that wake you up with a shock of air, but then those clear, stunning days that make you forget the season is changing at all. It's been a reminder that the right conditions make even hard work feel easier and maybe even enjoyable. Hopefully it holds a little longer, because I wouldn't mind a few more days like this before autumn really arrives. Next week, the focus shifts back inside. The kitchen still waits for, well, it waits for me, and with a little bit of luck, I'll finally be able to bring it close to finish. It's been a long time coming, but that makes the final stretch even sweeter. And I also have to decide what new projects I should start after the kitchen. Maybe my bedroom, or my guest bedroom on the first floor. I don't know yet. I need something easy.